Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to On Loose Lines. I do have a picture there of my great mate, who I haven't actually rang just yet, but I will ring him very, very shortly. Daniel Hibberd will be joining me live on the show shortly. I encourage everyone to get involved in the show. Just get a couple of other things just set up, and we will talk. I've got a couple of things from New Zealand to get across, a couple of drives that I saw last week, and some other news. We'll talk to Eureka because it's making all the news at the minute. If you are watching, and you have been watching Eureka, and you've been keeping an eye on the Eureka, what are your thoughts? Give me a yell. Let me know what you guys think of the Eureka, and how it's all going for the industry. But as I said, Daniel Hibberd will be on as soon as I ring him. He is actually working tonight, so we need to turn that one off. We need to make sure that he's clear. He might have to hang up from time to time because he is calling a big race of the Greyhounds tonight, which we will touch on when he comes on, and plenty of other stuff. So, but get involved in the show. 1200 metre racing is going on as well as we speak. So please keep an eye across that, and we'll see. My friend, are you there, Daniel?
I am, Paul. Good evening.
How are you, my friend?
Very well, very well.
So I just had phone calls. It's an amazing thing. I have a couple of guys that like to ring me. They know I go live at 6. I reckon they enjoy just that little bit of pressure that potentially it puts on me. But like any tap, I can handle it. Not a worry in the world, mate. It's good to have you back on. You already got a little bit of love, but I'm going to be a bit cheeky as well. Jeffrey Dixon is on there, mate, but I'm not sure if you're watching live, but I just have to do a bit of fishing. I have to put my fishing hat on, so we'll go from there when I saw that. But Jeffrey Dixon says, hi Paul, hello Daniel, love you calling the dogs. So that, which is always good to get a little bit of love, Daniel.
It is good to get a bit of love, and we're down here at Sandown tonight for the Speed Star, so one of the more unique race nights with 12 match races, just 1v1, and it's against the clock, and over the three distances as well. So it's not just for the sprinters. We've got the sprint, the middle distance, and the stayers as well. So it's going to be a very intriguing night. We're probably only missing a couple of runners with the Nationals on Saturday night. There's probably a couple of those that would be here if that series wasn't on, but nonetheless, it's going to be a really good night.
Is indeed. Obviously, you don't have a camera in front of you, a computer in front of you that you can see this show, because I went and put a hat on for you, and haven't had one comment back from you yet. So.
I can actually see it, Paul, and I'm disgusted at that. And you know the discussion we had earlier this afternoon, me suggesting that you won by default, and yes. So I will not be changing my opinion on that.
Very good. Hello to you, Brittany Graham. Brittany Graham answered a very, very important question a little bit earlier. She'll be looking at the Carlton app. She'll be thinking, what? For the non-true Victorians, Daniel, I have it here for you. If you're able to see it, I've blown the picture up, and you can clearly see there without a shadow of doubt, that ball was touched. There is absolutely not a chance it has been anything else but touch. Jeffrey Dixon, I tell you, I love going fishing. There's a couple of Collingwood blokes I'll get in a minute as well. But you can see the ball was touched, mate, and that's all there was. So
it doesn't look like a hand.
I blew the picture up, and that was how it come. I thought, oh, that'll be good. That'll make you feel good. Jeffrey's got involved.
And I feel for, and good evening to the Adelaide Football Club supporters as well.
Why is that?
Well, after last week's debacle.
I'll get back to a bit more normality and put one of my sponsors hat on. Stewie Turner, hello to you from England, mate. They're coming in from everywhere at the minute. Brad Seal, we've got a few Queenslanders and all the rest. Had a chat with Brittany Graham via Twitter. Wasn't a private chat by any stretch. It's just in regards to Captain Ravishing and whether he runs today or not. Have you been across the Eureka, Daniel, for a start?
I've sort of kept a little bit of an eye on it. I think it's going to be a fantastic event. I've got no doubt about that. And as seems to be the mantra with a lot of these big races. There's always a bit of intrigue and a bit of mystery and a bit of a will they or won't they sort of bit of chat. So it is certainly building up to what's going to be a great race, and hopefully it lives up to the hype.
Oh, it does indeed. Anyone not aware, Captain Ravishing trialled today, and there's some chance that he may be scratched. In a way, Brittany and I, my discussions is sort of a little bit redundant, but if he was scratched, the slot holder, if was scratched before Friday, I should have it in front of me, but Brittany said something, he's able to pick any horse that he wanted to pick. So that could be one of the emergencies or a horse that's not an emergency at the minute. And then if he did take one of the emergencies, that the horse that ran 6th in the Singo would go to be one of the 4 emergencies. So it's a little bit confusing and convoluted, but it does add a little bit of intrigue to what is already a very intriguing race.
Yeah, it does. And, I can't imagine that they're going to run him if he's not absolutely 100% because, there's a big season ahead. It's not just one race. I know it's a massive race and, a lot of money up for grabs, but you want to make sure that you've got a horse at the back end of this year and not one at all. So I'm sure they'll do the right thing by the horse. I've got no doubt about that.
I've got his trial here, and I'm just going to kill the audio there. He's in Greg Sugar's colours. He settles 3rd last from memory. He's actually 2nd last as we speak. And I mean, it definitely wasn't a terrible trial by any stretch, but just the fact that he's going to be going first up into a $2 million race makes it a little bit harder for that horse. Jamie Lee King, hello to you. It's going to make it a little bit tricky. Actually, he only ends up with one horse behind him, so he settles there. I'll just scrub it forward back a little bit because he makes a move. That's him actually making the move, rounding the home turn, making up a little bit of ground now. And he gets to the line okay. The leaders get to the line in 26 dead. So, I mean, he's not going to take any ground off those. I think the worry is that it's going to be a pretty high-pressure race. And exactly what you said, Daniel. What happens to him at the other end of it?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be... You can't make ground when they're running 26. I mean, that's just... It is physically impossible for him to do that. I mean, it's just obviously... running along okay there. He's not really been bustled out to the line, but you'd probably expect him to run a fair bit better than that and probably finish a little bit closer.
Yep, definitely. But anyway, it adds a bit of intrigue, and we'll hear plenty more of it going forward. And there's been a lot of banter backwards and forwards, and look, I don't mind the race personally, but I hate the way it's funded. I'm funding it, as are a lot of other people, and I see a few people happy to have their opinion and that, but it's just one of those ones. The way the money's been collected is the way that I don't like. But anyway, that is fine. Right, Daniel, the Speedster. You alluded to it just there before tonight. So we've got 12 races going forward. What I've got to do here, Daniel, is actually just turn off the comments for a minute, please. Please fire all your. Keep firing your comments in there. There's no worries. I'll be able to read them, and I'll just I'll put them up as we see those. But we're just going to quickly go through. We won't go through necessarily in depth, Daniel, but just I suppose to show people what these races are actually about. So race 1 is in about 45 minutes. That's why I won't be able to hold you for too long. Sunnyside for Matty Clark and Moran Susie for Brendan Purcell. The thing I find interesting, Daniel, and I'm going to actually just get rid of Daniel for a second so people can see, they have the tote screens there. 2-dog race, the one's $4.60 and the 3 is your favourite at $1.20. Amazing discrepancies, if you like, for a 2-dog race.
Yeah, and then that's sort of the way through a lot of not a lot, but there's quite a few where there's a real couple of shorties. Really, very short and cramped odds, and there's a couple of races on the other side of that are nearly flip of the coin. So you get a bit of a mixture tonight. But yeah, the first 2 races are the stayers. So there's 2 heats of the stayers series. Moraine Suits is going to be awfully hard to beat in her match. But the second race, if you're going to watch one race tonight, I encourage you to watch the second race because number 3, Life Wildfire, is probably the most exciting dog we've got going around in the sport. Sorry?
$1.10.
Yeah, he's had 10 starts, won 8 of them. He holds 2 track records in New South Wales at the Gardens and also somewhere else. Can't quite remember off the top of my head where it is. But he's had 2 runs down here. He went 33.77 over the 5.95, which is just flat out ridiculous. And then he went 41.41 his first go over this trip, which is just insane. Like, the conditions here tonight are pretty well perfect. There's no wind. The track should be in tip-top shape. And he is one of those prospects that he could break the track record. And if he does that, that's saying something because that record stood for a little bit of time. But he is, if you're going to watch one race tonight, that's the one. Race 2 at 12 minutes after 7 in the Speed Star Stayers.
Just had to put my sun hat on again because Alabar Farms was on, and I think that's masquerading as Brett Coffey and a fellow Carlton man. He would appreciate the hat going on, so don't you worry about that. If anyone's there wondering what's going on, Gemma Smallman's there from Nutrien. Hello to you, Gems. Good evening. Haven't spoke to you today. And Peter Doyle, hello to you as well. How much are these heats worth, Daniel?
The heats are worth 4,500 to the winner, and then the overall fastest of each of the series gets 10 grand.
And it is it is just I must say good harness racing. Little note in that first one, you actually threw me off, Granny Forrest from New South Wales. You threw me off there before because Brendan Purcell is a bit of a trotting field. We're going to highlight one of the trotting guys in a minute too that's from Western Australia, Cody Charles. He's got a dog in Saturday night, but we'll get to that in a sec. Quickly, the race 3, Daniel, seems to be an even sort of race.
Yeah, it is. So the next 4 races 3, 4, 5 and 6, are over the middle distance. The third, Alfie Moon's probably the one there. He could lead, and if he leads, it's going to be he's the one to beat there. I think Mid of Frost will win the 4th, but it's another one which is a lot closer in the market than some of the others. As we get through the heats are seeded, so as you get through the heats, the stronger ones come to the 4. So you've got race 5, which is basically seeds 3 and 4, Ailey Vale and Bell Violin. Ailey Vale should win her match race number 5. And then the last heat is the 2 top seeds, and Hector Fawley, who's just he's absolutely brilliant over this trip. I think he's $1.10 or something to win his heat, and he's pretty well the shorty to win the overall series as well. He just loves this trip. He should be winning his match, and he probably should be just winning the overall series as well.
Just on that, so there's no final. This is it, the heats, and it's just against the clock and against each other. It's
against the clock and each other. So you if you win your match, then you obviously will set a quick enough time, and then whoever's got the fastest time at the end of the night gets the win of the series.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Something that harness racing could do, because we've got 1,200 metre races on tonight, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to showcase this. Also wanted to catch up with Daniel, but when I found out you're calling these as well, it actually made it good, and the timing made it good as well. So then we go race 7, Daniel.
Yep. So the last 6 races of the night are for the sprinters over the 5:15, and as I say, the bottom seeds come in first, much like you would see in in the athletics or the sprinting. You get the lesser seeds going on out early, see what time they can set. Aston Luciano is going to be hard to beat in the 7th against Dinners On. The 8th race is probably I reckon it's one of the matches of the night. I've gone away from the favourite and tipped Professor Six number 3. I think she likes to be on the outside, and I reckon might be able to just get past. But I reckon that's going to be the match of the night. I reckon there's not much between those two. Race 9, another good match, but I put Mapunga Smoky just ahead of Pearly Tears. Pearly Tears was super. First look at the track second look at the track last week. But I think Mapunga Smoky for the inside. And then we get to the last 3 heats. A Fire's going to be really hard to beat from box 1. just loves the rail. And I think she'd be able to beat at Hana Rico. And then my tip for the overall series, launch code's about $6 to take out the series. Overall, I've picked him to beat Nature Strip in his match, but I reckon he can win the series overall. And the reason I'm saying that is because in the last heat, which is the top two seeds, Transponder and Big Energy, Transponder's drawn 1 and likes to get up the track, and Big Energy's drawn 3 and likes to hunt towards the rail. So they could bump, and if they do bump, that's where they might lose a little bit of time. And I think launch code's quick enough to lead clearly Nature Strip and might be able to set a decent time. So I like launch code to win the 11th, and I like him to win the series. And in that last race, cracking race, Transponder, Big Energy, I don't think there's much between them, but I think Big Energy might just get the job done. But it's the big races towards the end of the night are going to be really exciting.
Scotty Purden's on there. Cam Bray is watching as well. Phil Crayak is back as well. Daniel, I haven't seen him. I get you back on one time and bang, he's back. I don't know where he's been, but anyway, he might have an excuse. We'll just have to wait and see. And Mark Hughes, actually lucky that I didn't see that one, but he's watching on YouTube. Can't show you the YouTube comments. I'm actually working on that. I think I can do it, but I can see the comments here on my trusty tablet. Wrong way, Daniel. Nothing worse. So, yep, fire your comments through and get involved in the show, please. I want people to be involved and grow the show and grow harness racing, which is what I'm trying to do. Then, you're not going to believe this. I'll have to get out of all of that because I just stuffed everything up. You would believe that, Daniel. Surely you'd understand how I can do.
I believe anything. I can't believe anything that's on with you.
Rightio, 1,200 metre races. Have you been watching them? I'm keeping an eye on the time so I don't keep you for too long because you've got a preview at 6:30 for the radio, 927. I'm working on something with 927 down behind the scenes too. Actually, I'm hopefully.
There you go.
I would love to be able to have the races on for the trots, and for like the greyhounds and things like that, and just be able to change what we do up. So anyway, we'll wait and see. So Bradley Steele, look at Brad Steele. I tell you what. He's lather up. He's got a free service fee to give away a bit later on in the season. He chimes in. As soon as he says Mark Hughes, he's on there. How good his job is Lather Up doing in the US, and he is flying, or as Mark Hughes will say, the bullet. Jack Butler from from Queensland as well. They're enjoying that warm weather. Have you been watching the 1,200 metre races, Daniel?
Yeah, well, I have. I've been calling regularly offending on a Wednesday the last few weeks, and that's when they've been on. So they have been front and centre on the telly in the commentary box. So look, I was sort of initially was thinking, I don't know how this is going to play out, but they have been good to watch. Turnover wise, I haven't been privy to that information, so I'm not sure how it's looking from that perspective. But I think what they could be doing is what is very similar as we've just discussed with the greyhounds. If there's a bit of a carrot at the end of a particular night. You'd obviously have to have similar class horses against similar class horses, but if there's like a $10,000 or $7,000 or something like that bonus at the end for the fastest time of the night or anything like that, might be might entice a few to just run along a bit quicker. I know it's only at 1,200 metres, but yeah, they haven't been too bad. I guess the only thing that with it is that at times it's been very much leader dominated. You haven't seen too many come from off the speed and win. They've sort of found their positions pretty quickly, and I think on the other side of that as well is that the class of horse that we've got running in some of them, you've got some very lower class horse flesh running around. I don't think they've got the ability to run on from the back. So I think there's just got to be some sort of a further deep dive into the information, the racing analysis of what horses are going around and what class actually suits that so that you get a better viewing product. Because I don't think having the maidens and the 30 to 40 ranked horses is necessarily good enough to run over that 1,200 metres and expect, close finishes with horses being able to make ground at the back. I just don't think they're capable enough of doing it.
No, that's exactly right. And tonight already the two races used Sprint Lane Sweet Creations for Glenn Bull. I think he's been a regular at them. The one thing I will say, there's been plenty of regulars, horses regularly contesting these. I tell a lie, that's Sweet Creations' first attempt. I thought Glenn was taking a couple there. I'm sure Ringer Russ definitely went around last week. I don't know if it's contested all 3 weeks. No, it's done 2 weeks in a row, Ringer Russ, and won both of those as well. And but both, Ringer Russ led and Sweet Creation used the sprint lane by the looks of it. I didn't see the race, but Impressive George's led, and Sweet Creations got up the inside and beat that horse. So that is an issue. I did see a stat the other day that at the time I think there'd been 9 of them run, 7 of the winners had led. But in fairness, and even probably talking yourself, Daniel, because these athletes are now so fit, and it doesn't matter if we're talking greyhounds or standardbreds or thoroughbreds or anything, when the horse is in front, it's pretty hard to get past, or when the animal is in front, it's pretty hard to get past. Doesn't matter which one it is, because the science and everyone is caught up. Everyone don't take greyhounds, don't take harness horses, don't take any horse to the races half fit, no doubt these days. So there is that other part of the traditional swooping horses. It's not that easy anymore. So, and they don't get as tired over the 1200. So I think that's always going to be a little bit of that issue.
I think also with with how greyhounds are on speed maps, and an early box speed is very much vital in greyhound racing, and how punters can assess information and work out where the dog's likely to be into that first turn. In the 1200 metre races, it's very much similar, where they'll be looking at that early speed, and I think a case in point is Alex Hurley's horse. I mean, we know that it's got really good gate speed, so it doesn't really matter where it's going to draw in that, particularly if it draws anywhere between 1 and 5. You know that you're going to at least be cracking forward to have a crack to the front. If it draws 7, 8, it might be a different story, and that's where people can do their homework and due diligence in their form and have a look and see, if I don't think it can lead from there, what else is going to lead? Because, the way it's looking at the moment, if you can find something that's going to either be leader or leaders back, you're in prime position. And hopefully it does drive a bit of turnover, but again, you want to see those good races where you can win from anywhere, and under right conditions.
The hat went back on because one of my good mates is on there, and he'll really appreciate the CFC.
Jeez, I hope you get beat that first week of finals, because there is going to be nothing sweeter than ringing you every hour on the hour and saying, how's Carlton going?
Mate, this guy's a Collingwood man. Don't turn around and feel sorry to him for me putting this hat on. Don't you worry about that. You just got to have some fun. We could get beat this weekend. Who would know, mate? It doesn't matter. It's just... you've got to just have fun from time to time. On Loose Lines has been easiest. This is why I say this is my fishing hat. Mark O'Hare is the easiest person to get a bite from, I can tell you that. He's got a couple of step ladders going cheap, he said, at his house. So, yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. The show is random. It has to be. I have to keep a lid on the head, that's for sure, because I tell you what, the chrome dome's too shiny under these lights. That is for sure, Daniel. But anyway, that's all right. So that is fine. What else has been going on in your world, mate? Your trotters?
My bloke's still in the paddocks. Well, I believe he's still in the paddock, but he won't be far away. I've just had a bit of a setback, so I had to have a fair chunk of time off, but I'm sure he'll, once he comes back from the paddock with Snooze, he'll be, hopefully we've got a nice type who can go through his grades. So just got to be patient, unfortunately. It's be nice to be out there and racing, but we've just got to take our time with him, unfortunately, and hopefully we get the results and are rewarded for our patience.
You're going to help me out here, Daniel, so I can get the race up. Cody Charles's greyhound at the Meadows on Saturday night. What race?
He'll be in race. Well, I haven't actually seen the field, so I presume it'll be race 8.
Race 8, was it? Yeah, because we've got him coming across here. So another one for, National Sprint Finals. Yep. Yep, so it's drawn
Yep.
2. So, yeah, you're fine. I'll put that up there now. I'll have to get rid of straight sets and everyone else for the minute. But, yeah, a good greyhound name. Hit the right button, Paulie.
Great deal.
Yeah, Sage to Neil. Cody Charles, they're the two dog. Now, trialled the other day. Now, anyone that's not sure, KTC Standardbreds, I think, is what he goes by. Yeah, the Charleses breed Standardbreds in Western Australia. They're one of the biggest breeders of Standardbreds. They train a few. They own quite a few as well. And then they are the biggest breeders over there in Western Australia. So they sell horses. So he's bought a dog all the way across. Trialled last Saturday night and goes around in the final against an explosive greyhound though in Postman Pat, Daniel.
Yeah, it's rolled really well. Won the WA state final, and then obviously get the invitation into the national final. But went good, but I think it's going to have to find a few lengths to really threaten some of these top ones, in particular Postman Pat. And again, if you're just sitting at home on Saturday night and wanting to watching the trots or whatever, just make sure you watch this race on Saturday, because he is different gravy. He is a superstar, and he is. I hope he wins just for the Group 1 status, because he deserves to have a Group 1 against his name.
He's a very, very fast dog. I was fortunate enough to basically catch up with him and the owners when I went over to New Zealand the first time, and just interviewed this random guy at the Greyhounds, and it turned out that he was one of the owners and part trainers of Postman Pat. I said to him it was the only greyhound that I'd known in New Zealand, and it turned out he owned it. So, and yeah, just been unbelievable. And from afar watching it, it's all good. All you blokes are having a crack at me for getting ahead of myself. I'm just wearing the hat because we beat yous. That is all it is, Mark Hughes. It is fine. It's got nothing to do with whether we can win the premiership or not. It has got to do with just being able to enjoy the moment in the sun without getting sunburnt, because I can't be doing those things, that's for sure. So, but it's all just a little bit of fun. We'll have to have probably a footy special leading up to the finals of that, Daniel. We'll have to have a little bit of fun at one time anyway. We'll keep that one up our sleeves and go from there. But that'll be fine. What do you do tonight, mate? Before I let you go, you haven't got long. 2 dog races. How do you go about calling them? Do you have a little bit up your sleeve? Do you have something up your sleeve ready to go?
It's going to be different, but I mean, the distance one's probably the harder ones of the series. But I'll just try and get a bit of get the sectionals in there. If I can get the sectionals working, that'll certainly help a bit with the people sitting there and watching at home and on the radio. So. Yeah, we'll just try and have a bit of fun and make it enjoyable, and hopefully we can make it a good night.
All right, mate. Let you go. Have some fun. Get a couple of little bit of Carlton comments in the calls. That'd make for good calling, I reckon. So.
We will not be doing that. We will not be doing that.
Just got to have a little bit of fun from time to time, so it'll be fine. All right, mate. Thank you, and good luck tonight. We will catch up. Don't worry, I'll catch up in person, maybe at the Greyhounds or something in the near future, as the weather is getting warmer for us each day. So.
Are you coming to the wedding?
Oh yeah. I think I better say yes to that. Is that okay? Is this my RSVP now?
Well, yeah, I suppose it's better. I'll let Sue know that you're coming. So that would be good.
It was mentioned the other night at the Breed to Succeed if I was going. I said, I've got to get back, and they said, no, you've still got plenty of time. So yep. If you're waiting on a couple of other people, they're probably in the same boat as me, mate. So it's all good.
No worries.
All right, buddy. Be in touch.
Bye, mate. See ya.
Daniel Hibberd calling tonight at Sandown Greyhounds in the Speedster Series. Interesting racing series. Like one, I like having Daniel on, but I wanted to highlight those greyhound races, $5,000 with the finals. Now, I don't know how you find what the actual what the winner gets. So you said the second. I'll just see. So special event $5,000, but yeah, it doesn't say how much they get of each event. But anyway, so 2 lots of Peter Ramirio, Clinton McSwain, hello to you guys. 2 lots of, but anyway, 2 dog races and then ultimately a winner as well. And it's really nice, it was cool to find out that they're actually seeded. So while they're going over those same distances, they get stronger and stronger as they go through. So I think it's pretty cool, those sort of parts of it. But some people like the 1200 metre races. Some people don't like the 1200 metre races. I'm not here to say one way or the other. TAB turnover on them has been better, and I'll have a look just to see quickly, because this is not accurate by any stretch. But why did that get hidden? Just give me. Facebook gets a little bit sensitive. I'm not going to stress that much, Alex, over that. Daniel, disappointed when Paul said you should get some Carlton comments into your calls. The only response was, yep. That's all right. Well, hello to you, Alex. Now, you are racing tonight, I think. You're in later on, I believe. But just let me do one thing at a time, because I do get sidetracked. 2 minutes to the next race. Just quickly have a look at the pools on these two races, and we've got plenty more stuff to cover off on for my sponsors and my supporters. So there was 10,000 in the win pool. This is one of the things that was pointed out to me, that if there is that 10,000 in the win pool, that's good. So 10,700 for the first one and 10,000 for the second one. So that is actually good. Alex Hurley's not. She's sitting at home by the fire. So they're good figures, and we've got less than 2 minutes to go before race 3, and it is terrible. 3,900 so far with a minute to go, and the favourite is at $2.80, $2.20. Jeremy Lou is your favourite on fixed odds. So I wonder why that is. Someone might be able to tell me, but yeah, there was a lot of money invested on the first two, and then that one has just been very ordinary. But Jeff, my cousin, got his horse in the next at Melton. Let's see. Jeff must be the owner. You better tell us. Oh no, Jeff. Oh, Jeff Hurley, go accused. Okay, all right. We'll keep a little eye on that. And good luck, Alex, sitting in there by the fire. Sorry about that. I get some stuff sitting over the top. Plenty more. Get in touch though. Like thoughts with the Eureka, the build up, how it's all going, leading up to it. It's 10 days away. And it's not far off now. There's a few things going on in the background, obviously with Captain Ravishing today in the trial, and then some of the comments afterwards. But I've seen an interview with Ahmed Tabor. There was no suggestion from him that he would be scratching. So it's an interesting one, that part. But yeah, and then the way that all goes. Interesting watching these pools, how much they do build up, it's last little bits as well. So live TV. Don't know if I can show you the TAB thing or not. Don't know. Get into trouble. Don't want to get into trouble. Just enjoy doing the show and having a little bit of fun. Mark Hughes is watching, and the other day the boys all have arrived safely down under in New Zealand. That is obviously down by the seaside. Tony Grayland there walking him out, and he's having a good look around. Wasn't the nicest of days. It was a little bit unpleasant. Here's the show pony, Sweet Lou, looking absolutely outstanding. He trots along the paddock here in a minute as well, but I'm pretty sure the farm was extremely happy with how they all arrived. But Lou's very, very happy to be home. He's more than happy, actually, having a good little play, and having fun in that sense. To go in there, the old boy, have a look at him. Better's Delight just looks outstanding. He really does. It is home for him. Yep, richest stallion, earning stallion in the world. Don't worry about thoroughbreds and standardbreds. He is the richest. Better's Delight. He's a rock star. They don't get any better than him. And then What the Hell, people would have seen some of this footage the other night, but What the Hell, because he sponsors the Talking Trotters show. He just looks amazing too. He's a unit, that's for sure. And all arrived safely, all on the ground, all eating grass, and happy to be home. So it's pretty incredible to see them. Nellie Melba are also impressed by the condition of the shuttle stallions. They just look $1 million. They do. They really do. I think it's a credit to how everyone behind the scenes, Nelly and everything that they do, handle and look after these guys, because not just each individual studs, although they have a lot to do with it, but the plane, the guys doing the flights, the truck drivers. I know doing the 3 horses at Lower Long Farms last week, American Ideal, Lather Up, and King of the North. We told the truck driver we'd like to get video footage of them. Not a worry in the world. They take pride in what they do and they really enjoy it. So there's that side of things as well. I saw Alabars, all their boys arrived the other day and got off as well. So, yep, they take a lot of pride in it, and it's really cool to see. And it's it's good, and it's the way of our future. And it's interesting that Bettor's Delight, as I said, he's the sire of more stakes earners money wise than anyone else in the world, and that is including thoroughbreds. And yet we don't celebrate it in harness racing. That's the sort of horse that he is. He's a superstar. Even some of these trotting stallions as well. These guys are on the world stage, and we don't celebrate them here in Australia. We just expect them to come, do their job, and then they head home. Got too many of these mice here in front of me going through there as well. We also he hasn't arrived, but of course I didn't change it. Oh, well, it'll have to stay. EL Titan was announced coming down. That's Blue Chip Farms in the background. That's where he will be standing. That's where he does stand, or did stand, and he is now going on the Rasta Trotters. Sorry, I'll ring that bloke in a second. That just confused me. Rasta Trotters stay in roster, so he will be going there. He's going to be standing at Cobbity Equine. That's EL Titan by Muscle Hill out of Courtney Hall. 2 he trotted 53 and 4, 51 and 2, won $700,000. Had a race record of 20 starts, 7 wins, 8 and 1, and he is a proven sire, a son of Muscle Hill, standing for $3,500 at Cobbity Farm on behalf of Harasta Trotters. And the Harasta Trotters roster is there, with EL Titan being the new one. On a Street Classic Connection going to Queensland, used to me in Victoria, always ready in Victoria, and On Solitaire only available in New Zealand, but doing a good job already over here as well. Ekery D, Love You, Orlando Vici, Back of the Neck, Crazy Well, Tomoko, Bold Eagle, and Bird Parker, all frozen semen. So you're able to get hold of those guys there. And the Woodlands draft is here as well. I'm getting text messages and that people know what I'm doing. Bettor's Delight. 25,000 or 27,500 here in Australia, but it's plus the GST in New Zealand. Down by the seaside at $10,000. A Speeding Spur at $1,000. Sweet Lou at $7,500 in New Zealand and $11,000 here in Australia. Wattdale at $7,000 and $7,700 here in Australia. And then, of course, the 2 boys standing at Lower Long Farms in conjunction with Woodlands Stud. American Ideal at $11,250 for the Kiwis, or $11,000 flat here in Australia, plus, no, that's including GST. And then $49.50 for the Lather Up, and $4,500 for him as well. And as you saw there before, Brad Steele commented that of how well his 2-year-olds are doing in the US. Make sure you keep an eye on it. There's plenty more of them to start hitting the tracks shortly. And we'll keep you across all of those and show you some more videos as they come across and come out into the field. Mick Barbie, I might have to give you a call in a second. I will just see. So we got stay in tenders. That's what Mick was on about there. So the South Australian Square Trotters stay in tender closes the 31st of August. You can ring Sharon and Reg Stravine or Gary Newton. Their phone numbers are on the dial there, and put a bid in for any of these stallions. King of the North, Peak, Cardigan Boko, Speeding Spur for Woodland Stud, Dancing in the Dark, M, Sky Valley, Sundance Courage, and Kinvent Avenger, and get in touch with any of those guys. They're Reg Trevine, Sharon and Gary Newton. Their phone numbers are on it. Just go back at the end of the show and you'll be able to pause it on that to get their phone numbers, and you'll be able to get in touch with them. Swan Hill Harness Racing Club or Trotting Club have actually got a big one coming up, and bear with me. Just got to find, here it is, Gerard Maloney. So they aren't officially done up yet, but I can tell you that on behalf of Alabar, there will be a stay-in tender. So if you're looking to get into the stay-ins, there will be a stay-in tender for Vincent and Ride High, donated by Alabar Farms. Aldebaran Park and Duncan McPherson, Dancing in the Dark M and Sky Valley will be available. Woodland Stud and Mark Hughes, What the Hill, of course the sponsor of the Talking Trotters show on Monday, 7 o'clock. And Lather Up for Woodland Stud. Northern Rivers Equine have got King of the North, Raging Bull and Yankee Rockstar. Little tricky one. I might try and find that actually. Little thing happened with Yankee Rockstar last night. Torello and Kerry Hames has got Lenny the Shark and Tell All. Soho Standardbreds, Mick Stanley has got Soho Lanakai. Neville Stud have got Creatine, who's doing a terrific job. And Truscott Lodge, Brad Angove have come on board for the first time with Sundon's Courage, who is an on-farm service. So I don't believe they collect him, but there will be more information coming out on that very, very shortly from the Swan Hill, for the Swan Hill tender. Just going to try and find this one. I like funny little things that happen. The Trotters on Monday just gone at Globe Derby. The two races were sponsored by Aldebaran Park, and they were won by Aldebaran Park. One was won by a horse by Aldebaran Eagle, and then the Sky Valley Trot was actually won by a son of Sky Valley. So just little things that do happen, as is this one. Got to get back to using my other thing because it's a lot quicker. Lower Long Farms Stadium Parade on September 10 was won by Chia Mia Princess, who is by Yankee Rockstar. Just a little one that I like to put out there from time to time because Yankee Rockstar stands there. Do not forget the Stadium Parade September 10. That will come around pretty quickly, and at the farm there's a lot of people coming to see it. Not sure why I've still got Daniel up there. He's no longer on, and I've still got him up there. That's better. So make sure you can get in touch with the team there at NR Equine as well for that. So we'll be there and go from there and do that. Rightio. Oh, look at this. Emily Morgan, you're asleep at the wheel. I've actually got some New Zealand content. We're going to go to the Kiwis in a sec, but we'll start this one off here. That for those in New Zealand, Ashburton Trotting Club have a stay-in tender for What the Hill. I should have known that. Details are on their Facebook page. So Ashburton Trotting Club. I don't think I better try and do that. I don't think I better try and get it up on any of these devices because I could get myself into trouble. But while we are talking Kiwis, and there was a couple of good little things that happened just the other night, and I'm going to keep trying to highlight it because the good racing's starting to come up in New Zealand with plenty of good racing. But firstly, Aussie Benny Hope came back the first cup for the year. Now I think you've got to be a little bit careful because there would have been cups flowing over the Christmas part, but this is the start of the new lots with Mossdale Ben getting the chockies at Oamaru. It was Kikora, I believe, was the name of the property on the place on Sunday, but I think Benny's had quite a few winners, and he's got a couple of nice little drives coming up as well. If I got smart and had the results up there in front of me, Koo Row is where that place was. It was really, really cool. I've been waiting on me, man. He hasn't done it. Jessica Young Grant, we've got the Woodlands hat on. Cameron Grant's partner, she got the Kuro. Emily's putting it in there. She got the chockies the other night on Buffy North Staines. I made a mess of that on my Terry Carr. Hello to you. On my Talking Trotters show. I didn't know she's got a lot of letters and that around her name. But Jessica Young Grant, Cameron Grant's I'll say wife, definitely partner. Anyway, so she got the chockies, as did Riley Harrison. She got her first winner at drive number 20 for Paul Nan. So she does a lot of the work behind the scenes out at Dunn Racing, so good on her and congratulations on getting her first winner. And she drove it out nicely. She didn't frail the whip or anything else like that. She wasn't going to get fined, so congratulations and good little win there for her. And then Wilson House, you just saw Wilson there running third. Loved this drive by Wilson House. Look at the horse, 1 out 3 back, and just takes off. Santana Mac, this horse is. But Wilson just launches it and he just keeps going. And I was sitting up here. I don't watch every race every night or anything like that, but I actually watched this one live and I found myself barracking for him after this daring move. Of course, Addington has the 3 straights. It doesn't really, but it's effectively called a triangle, but it's that bottom bend can be a little bit funny for horses to negotiate, and they sort of start to turn and then they turn a little bit more here in a minute. But he holds on and gets the chockies, and I think it was well done. And I just like to highlight it when these sorts of drives come off. Generally, his father is on the show and gets involved, so I was sort of sitting on it, and I thought I'll wait and show the race. But yeah, he gets the chockies. Dropped poor old Benny House off. But here, this is where I started the barrack for him, because I'm thinking he's gone for home a long way out. Yeah, it can be a little bit dangerous sometimes when you go that far from home, but he's able to hold on and get the chockies, and I think it's just a good win, and like to highlight it and like to bring more of the New Zealand content to Australia and the Australian content to New Zealand if I can, and keep the messaging going backwards and forwards. There's some good races starting to hold up over in New Zealand, and we'll be covering off on those. The New Zealand show will be coming back shortly. We've got to try and not rebrand it, but just do it a little bit differently. We'll try and get some news coming in, and also get some races and get some, the Aussies looking at stuff, plus all being aware of when the big races are coming up, because Kaikoura is the last week in October. So make sure you're ready for Kaikoura the last weekend in October, and then the New Zealand Cup is 2 weeks after that. So you've got a little way to wait, but there's plenty of good racing, and then lots leading into Christmas and even after Christmas with a lot of their cups meetings and things along those lines. So going to be terrific. And there was a good race the other night, Sinbad, for Mark and Nathan Purton. Natalie Rasmussen took the drive, beat the stablemate with style, because Sinbad is down by the seaside out of Panafort, bred by Woodland Stud. Better's Delight with style, and then Gold Ace for the third horse in Ventura. There is a little horse in there called Herb. He's only had 2 starts. He is down by the seaside. He goes around on Friday night. Not sure exactly what race he's in, but he did say back me next start. The only thing is, I think he's got a tricky draw. Not much of a tipster. I try not to get involved in tipping and everything else like that. But yeah, I did happen to see him. There he is. No, he hasn't got a tricky draw. Drawn 3, so he's in race 3 at 9 minutes past 4. It'll be with the interestingly enough Addington Cup week on sale 31st of August. So that's when the tickets start to go on sale. Of course, Sweet Lou with Confederate, brilliant win the other day, and going there. Oh, of course, Harasta Trotters. I didn't have this. This is a cracking photo. Love this photo here with the new. No, wrong race. That's not a photo. There he is there. Call Me the Breeze. This horse is called. He's a stallion. He's coming out to Harasta Trotters to stand, and lovely looking horse there. So it's going to be exciting. He's from Italy. He's by Trixton, but yeah, really nice horse. Trying to catch up with Anton Galeno hopefully tomorrow to find out a little bit more about that horse and their plans. But he is coming here to Australia to race, so going to be a lot of excitement. I would imagine races like the Great Southern Star and those would well and truly be on his radar. So that's about all I've got. I don't have a lot tonight, but just trying to change it up as best we can. We'll have a look and see who won that last 1200 metre race. Jeremy Lou by Sweet Lou. Beat Go George. Glenn Bull's having a good night. And unfortunately Jeff ran last, so that's not a good result for Alex, but that's okay. Unfortunately someone's got to run there. It's never nice when it is you, but yeah, so Jeremy Lou drew 2, so you presume he's probably found the front. If not, he's on the pegs. And he has got the chockies. Next run is going to go around at 7 parts. Oh, that was the other one I did have, the stakes announcements. I was meant to bring this one out earlier. My running sheet's not working real well. The Harness Racing Victorian stake distributions have been announced today in collaboration with the kindred bodies. So they've all got together to work out the new stake increases, and so effectively what you're seeing on there is the stake money for that class. So best way to work it out is that the race you race for, so if you're on that scale there, if you're a 50 rated horse but you put your horse into a 52 to 55, you'll be racing for $7,000. You won't be racing for $6,000. So plenty of changes there. Your maidens are all $7,000 races, age races. So I'd imagine they're going to have 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, maybe 4-year-olds. I don't know. I doubt they'll have 7-year-olds. They'll be $7,000 races. Your metro races come back a little bit, and we'll go from there. But yeah, effectively, if you whatever race you're racing in, so if it's a 65 to 74 or that's in that bracket, so it could be a 65 to 70, it is $9,000. If it's in that bracket there, that'll be a $9,000 race. So a little bit going on. The a couple down the bottom there, I specified some of the feature race reductions. The 3-year-old Breeders' Crown is back from $200 to $150. The 2-year-old Breeders' Crown is back from $300 to $250,000. Ballarat Pacing Cup from $150 back to $100. The 4-year-old Bonanza race I really got a lot of time for, and I think we should be trying to grow, is $100,000 back to $75. The Trotting Grand Prix $100,000 to $75, and the Ladyship Cup has been reduced from $100 to $75 as well. So it's interesting sort of times. Unfortunately, no one likes pay cuts. There is still more to come. Some minor cuts on the announcement that I saw there to the country cups. The actual official wording, I think, said that there will be some minor reductions on those, and we need to get those out. Paul, with many of the HRA board members attending the conference in Germany recently, would be interested to hear a summary of the key learnings and takeaways. Did ask that question, Brad, and I believe we have to wait till they've been tabled to their appropriate governing bodies, and then we're possibly a chance. Before that, there won't be anything. I saw a couple of articles. I think HRA did one where they were a little bit frustrated. They were trying to get some of the messaging out prior to the conference finishing. So yeah, but hopefully, definitely, I agree. We do need that. And I need quite a few things going on. A lot of chatter going on. Brad Steele, I've got to commend Queensland and Queensland Integrity Department as well for handling an incident that happened swiftly and quickly. I think it's we don't need to highlight the incident if you're on social media, which most of you are with Facebook and that. If not, you can Google it. But I think well done to Queensland, the racing department, for handling it so quickly and swiftly and getting it not out of the news because it's there and it's front and centre, but I think we've got to keep doing these things, showing one that we're serious about actions that do happen, but then also getting on the front foot. There's been a few people getting a bit crook because certain journalists that don't write about it. I don't think it needs to be promoted. It's not something that's promoted. It's just something that happens. Michael House, what you missed is I wrapped your son. It was a brilliant drive the other night on Santana Mac. Obviously brilliantly trained, but it was a great drive, and I did happen to showcase his drive. I thought it was a good, daring drive. And then Brad said that one to me. There was one other thing I was going to I will say Harness Link. I read a pretty good article in regard to the stallion levy tax, and the belief that it is bringing harness racing together, this Eureka race all around taxing the breeders and getting horses back. I think those sorts of people who believe what was written there really need to have a good look at themselves, because it is not bringing the industry together by any stretch. It might be on face value, but good luck on September 3 after that, because you got another long 12 months to justify the taxes that we're getting. Wellbred got a lot of his mother in him. Yeah, well, I just think it was a great drive, Michael. I was sitting there watching it. No one put me up to it. I actually was just sitting there watching it, and I thought, for a young man, you got to highlight those. I like highlighting anything that happens in our industry, and good and bad. And I think we need to continue to get the good stuff out there. And of course, Michael will be up and about with the better weather coming, and that he'll be able to make more runs to the coffee shops. Do a little segment, P&P. Where I showcase some of the food, and I will say he's my number one commenter, Michael. He's, I think he's been a bit cheeky with some of the things he says, but I reckon he's a bit of a hidden food connoisseur after being to a couple of his parties, one of his parties, shouldn't say a couple. And yeah, he's a connoisseur of food. I think the great man, he really does like it. So while I'm killing just a little bit of time, I'm just going to have a look at Melton on Saturday night. Oh, the home field, that's right. There was a couple of good trot races. She's a Wish, Basilica. I can do this. Bang. And we just got to get rid of Michael's... don't know why. Actually, well, why I didn't do that in the first place. She's a Wish, drawn 1. Basilica. Dichotomy is First Emergency. Aldebaran Miley, Valerie Lane, My Personal Jet, Moonwalker, The Locomotive, Grumpy, Mari Franklin, and Mucho Mari is the field. Dichotomy must have been a late nom, because surely it would have, but even still in a Group 3 event, but it must have been late noms to have missed a run there. So good little race though, coming up. That is on Saturday night, 7:42 or 9:42 for you, Michael, and everyone else in New Zealand, and some nice races there. But of course, Catch a Wave didn't go around. There was some talk that he'd go around in this race, but they decided against that. They've got the brother in there. Tango Tara's in there as well, so they've got a couple in that, but that's not happening. Good mares race. Good to see a couple of good mares races on the card. So good race meeting there as well. So going there. Michael House dad didn't teach him to salute the judge with a lap to go. That sort of makes sense. I think Cameron's been a bit cheeky, actually. So, yeah. But anyway, they'll get into it. They'll go backwards and forwards now. Never know. We might be able to get Cam on. I'm not going to say we will. We might be able to get Cameron on to discuss how the conferences work, and that when everyone else has been addressed, we might be able to get him on and I suppose get a bit of an insight as to what actually does go on over there, Cameron. So I might get a phone call in a minute and get told off, and I'll put that back to Brad Steele. But that'll be all right. I'm just having a look to see the free-for-all. So there's a few nice horses going around at in Menangle, but none of the real good horses because they're all waiting for next week as well. Craigie Judd, Ben Stud, Standardbreds. Craigie will be always up and about. Of course, the Judds now, the Juggernaut of the Carlton. I'll just have to do it one more time, just to upset them, but because we've got Craig Judd, or C Judd, 3 votes, and the Brownlow, and of course he's now got a Beck Judd at home, so it's even better. Another 50-50 Aussies, 50-50 Kiwi as well as tuned in Sammy Kilgour. She's actually 100% Aussie, but yep, hello to you as well. Rightio. Emily Morgan, race 7, Addington Friday. Winner gets automatic cup entry. See, this is all you have to do. What race did she say? Race 7. 5, 6. Should have known that because it's got the orange there on it. So American Me, Don Maro, Mossdale Ben, who won the Kuroa Cup. Jeez, I hate their names. Oamaru raced that. That's better. Got You Covered, Covertly Star, Smithy's Terror, Anything Goes, The Falcon, Franco Hoffman, and American Lover for the Telfers are contesting that race. That is 10 to 8, so that's 10 to 10. No, other way around. 10 to 8, so it's 10 to 6 on Friday night. So make sure you tune in and watch that. Good to see Brent and Timmy White getting a team of nice horses around them. Franco Hoffman, Michael, can you and Wilson get the chockies and get automatic entry into the Cup? You never know. You've got to try and see how that goes. So who did I put this hat on? Oh, Craig Judd. I get myself confused as to what I'm doing sometimes. So, but good racing starting to come. All the nice horses are starting to come back. There was actually Vessam. That race is a good race, a 2-year-old, which is interestingly enough the lather up at Woodland Stud 2-year-old pace. But Vessim, the unbeaten son of Vincent, goes around. Melody Banner. It's interesting. Timmy Williams, I don't know if he gets a choice or not, but Double Jeopardy, he's riding that. Michael House, very facetious. Where was that trot race? Treacherous Miss, wrong horse. This race here, so there's some nice trotters going around in this one here as well. The Basildine Trotting Free for All, Midnight Dash, Artie by the Hill, horse I did drive once on the beach. Didn't win next up, but that's okay. Jimmy Carter, Mystic Max, Dominance Call, Harold Smith, Spider Moment, and Rachmaninoff. But yeah, those bottom few horses are all fast class horses. Rachmaninoff is an R35, stepping up a lot in class there. But I know Benny Hope was very keen on Midnight Dash going around. I saw that it was Herb. So in that race, and there was one other race. There's a couple of interesting 2-year-old races and that coming on in New Zealand as well, very, very shortly. It will be interesting now, the prize money distribution and how it changes as to whether there is as many. I'm actually half Kiwi, Paul. I said you're half both. If you're half Kiwi, you're half Aussie as well, so it's okay, Sammy. I've got it sorted. Don't you worry about me. I know exactly what's going on. Josh Dickey actually got a winner. Went good too the other day at Ararat for Philip Cherkov. Went very, very good. Actually, I think it was a 2-year-old. Okay. If people are still watching, they're still listening, so it doesn't matter. But please, if you want to go, it's okay. There's quite a few of us still sitting there actually watching, so it's a thing. We could turn this show into anything. People can actually go that way. Cam Bray, he's up and about at the minute. It wasn't on Sunday. Sammy, what day was Ararat? I watched it. There it is, Thursday. And it was a 2-year-old premix. Yeah, Manjan Max. Bang. We'll go that way. Amanda Bray, hello to you, Mans. Michael House. Hayrack got bigger. Hayrack got bigger. Hat rack. That makes more sense. Max and Jax by Rock and Roll Hanover out of our girl Billy Lee for Philip Cherkov. So, and Josh Dickey drove straight to the front. Never looked like getting beat, but I'd say it'll win more races. Actually, first size stakes Phillies Heat Friday night too. I'll be in trouble with Marty if I didn't mention that. Rightio. The Kiwis are throwing me off everywhere. So, it must have been after that fast class race. Unless I've already gone past it. 38 to Michael, if you're wondering, if you're trying to count how many hats there are on the back wall. 38 at the minute, and that's not all of them. Rightio, help me out. What race is it, Ems? Emily's telling me it's nearly 50 years. Race 5. But it doesn't say 50 years of success. It doesn't say it's a size stakes heat. That's a bit tricky. Actually, Neverly are fillies heat. Yeah. So, okay, I'm confused, but that's okay. I want to look at this horse here. A more Infitter. Captain Treacherous, Celestial Lover. Hanover Banks. And another gentleman, Alberg. Not sure who that gentleman is, but Hanover and Banks. Gavin Smith is driving Mystify Me for Robert and Jenna Dunn. Jazzy Sticks for the Houses. It's got good form, Michael. A little one keeping a bit quiet here. 3 starts for a win, a second and a third. Owned by the Riches. By Vincent. It ran 4th of 6 last start. It won. Where did it win at? Manawa 2. Over 2,000 metres. So, little filly going quite good. Delightful Star for Ken Barron. I don't know why I hit that. Excuse that. Treacherous Miss for Regan Todd. I mentioned that horse before. It won first up. Major Happy. Black Pearl for the Dalgettis. Advanced Party for Nathan Williamson, Katrina and John Price down as the trainers. What's the breeding is this one? I'll do a little bit with the prices. Democrat Party. That's a very well-bred horse. So, yeah, by American Ideal, Democrat Party, Debutante Party, Better to Light, Republican Party by Better to Light. So it's a full to Republican Party. Lovely little horse. Thursday Mate went super, carried a flat tyre practically the whole way to Donna Castles. Hello to you, Dons. Hit on her dam. Interesting blood. Oh, hang on. Right. Having a conversation with Michael. I was like, what is he talking about? We'll go back this way. Oh, I've just taken my hat off and no one actually knows why. So, Stacks by the Beach won't come up. Why won't that come up? Might have to go. Maybe you guys can help me. I'll get off this for a sec. How do you get the dam to come up, guys? I hate this. I know what I'll do. Go this way. I've got it, Michael. Michael House, Wilson, or the horses. Right, Sticks on the Beach. By some beach somewhere, out of Sticks and Fleet. I reckon what he'll be onto will be this side by Christian Cullen out of Starfleet. That's what happens when the daughter rings you when you are still live. Right, Michael, help me out. What am I looking for when I'm looking? Oh, hack. What does that mean? So, if you look here, it says a hack by Christian Cullen and a Starfleet. Wouldn't be one in the world like it. So there's got to be more to this story. Michael, this is, oh no, it might have been just replied as a, so there's got to be more to this story. 3 doses direct scooter in a row. Sorry, just ordering my tea at the same beach. Somewhere, Christian Bar. Okay, bye. Okay, thank you, Michael. He's going good on this. I should have him on the phone. What you get from Zimbero's quick. I reckon I'll have lamb tonight. I'll leave the rest up to them. Tell you what I'm going to do. We'll do it this way. Because if he's on there, he'll... Oh, there he is there. I was going to say, why is he not there? Let's see if he answers. I was doing other stuff just then. I was ordering me tea at the same time as well. Oh, he didn't answer me. He hung up on me. Yeah, he hung up on me. We had lamb shanks. Oh, hang on, now he's ringing me back. But that might not work. It might be better if I ring you. And we'll see what happens. Hello, Michael? Hang on. This doesn't work that well this way. Are you there, mate?
Tinakoto, here am I.
Hang on. We've got an issue. I've got to ring you. Hang on. So now he makes it a little bit tricky. So now you just got to bear with me for a minute here while I work some things out. This is called quality TV. I just got to get this to work again, and it's not working. Don't know why this does this. I shouldn't have answered Michael, is what I shouldn't have done. Because for some reason it's not working. Are you there, mate?
Tinakoto, here am I.
Well, we're doing this the different way. For some reason, every now and then it won't work that way. I'm getting people commenting on what I'm eating for tea. Ribeye for me and Hodgie. Unbelievable. You can tell Alex Hurley's had 2 winners in 2 weeks eating ribeye, Michael. But firstly, mate...
We had lamb shanks. Did a beautiful job with it.
Yeah,
in the bag.
You did indeed. Rightio. Talk to me about Jazzy Sticks.
Well, it's really interesting blood. The owner, lovely man, been a breeder for many years, and he fell in love with a family he bought, and he bred it. It was by OK Boy, and then he bred the Christian Cullen, which was a double up, obviously.
Yep.
Because OK Boy is by Direct Scooter, and Christian Cullen was a grandson of Direct Scooter, being by In the Pocket. And you wouldn't read about it.
Bear with me. I've actually got that up there now. So we've got Sticks Skyfleet, Christian Cullen, In the Pocket, Direct Scooter. So you can see the lines running through there. So we're getting a pedigree.
Yeah,
match.
3 doses, 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. And now he's gone, obviously, and bred it, and it's one of the last horses he's bred. And it's by Vincent, obviously. It's an outcross to Major. But and the horse is just a moderate horse, but it does have speed. And the mother of this horse, I qualified it to race by not hobbling it. It was such a poor gaited horse. Awful gaited horse. And I just canted it for 6 or 7 weeks as a GP, and then took it to trials, and it went really well. But he decided to retire it. And I think this is a second or third foal out of it. But the interesting aspect is just the 3 doses of Direct Scooter on the dam side.
Yep.
You won't see that. You just wouldn't see it. It's so inbred. You'd swear it would be an idiot, you know?
Yep. No, sorry, I'm getting stuff going everywhere here at the minute. I got people texting me tea orders and getting told not to forget stuff and everything else along. You like breeding differences, don't you?
No, well, look, you've got to have, what makes the world go round is crazy, right?
Yep.
You've got, you just like, Sweet Lou is currently the hottest sire in the world, yet he's still not right there yet in New Zealand because of old thinking, and yet he's probably a step ahead in Australia. And in America today, one of the fastest horses in the world is by Sweet Lou out of a rock and roll dance mare. And if you put that horse to stud in New Zealand tomorrow, it wouldn't get him in.
Yep.
That's how ridiculous the breeding scene is. Like people are so prejudiced.
Yep.
And yet, if you put that horse to stud in Australia, you'd breed 350 mares tomorrow, because you accept the animal for what he is and don't really care what he's by. And he could be by the Aborigine out of the Maori, and everyone would breed,
Yep. Yep, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Like it's immaterial. Like they'll go for the performance. Where in New Zealand everyone's very, it's a different world, yeah. But like Brett Pelling's horse is super fast, unbelievable fast.
Confederate.
I see the Cannibal one today as well, which is also a Sweet Lou Sweet Lou out of a rock and roll dance mare. Now, rock and roll dance is magnificently bred.
Yep. And
I've had a lot of them. They're wild, they're angry, and when you get them on site, they're tough. And I've got quite a nice maiden coming up that's will race soon by him, and I've had quite a lot of rock and roll dancers. It's probably the best one I've had, but he's had such a significant impact here slowly, if you understand what I mean. You know, it's just been slow because breeders here just sack a horse if it doesn't leave the 2-year-old pacer or trotter of the year straight away.
Yep.
And our world is so dominated by yearling style breeders that they've forgotten how to breed a good horse.
Yeah, and get back to them and enjoy them.
Yeah.
You're actually having a good run at the minute, Michael.
Me? No, I'm not. I'm in the doghouse.
Why? Oh, so you're getting winners week in, week out at the minute.
Oh yeah, we're only playing around with that. Tomorrow's the day, son. You tune into Rickerton. We've got 3 runners tomorrow at Rickerton. You bet on red all day long. I could change your life tomorrow, Paul Campbell. Days 5, 6, and 7. All up. You tell your friendly punters out there, back Mickey Mouse at Rickerton tomorrow in the Gallopers. 3 runners, bet on red.
Races 5, 6, and 7.
Yep, race 5, 6, and 7.
Who's riding?
We've got 3 different little people that are going to be riding for us.
Be careful.
3 different little people, wonderful people they are, wonderful riders. Yes, no, we'll feature somewhere. You'll get heard in the call. I'm just not sure which part of the call we'll be in, but I'm living precariously through my dreams, and I've got my first runner tomorrow is Calistodon, the mare I paid $3,000 for, $3,000 off Gavel House, which is like English online. And our good friend Cam Bray is
He's watching.
Yeah, he's an employee of the company. I'm expecting a jacket for the company any day with my own label on it, you know. And
they're hard to get. I tell you what, they're hard to get those jackets. Unless you know the gardener, you got no chance of getting a jacket off them.
Oh, look, I want one of the long ones goes down to your knees so you can back into the wind, you know, and just
Give
stand
Macca
all day like an auctioneer, yeah.
Give Macca a call. Macca got one. Macca said he was
I
told.
know he did. He did the lawns. He did the lawns. I sat there, I drank Corona with him all day at the sale.
Yeah.
At the feeling sale, and he got a jacket, and I got nothing, and I physically put money through their pocket.
I think the gardener was last seen finding another job, though. I don't think.
Well, the gardener was sitting beside me, so he wasn't doing his job either.
That's what it's all about, mate. I'm going to let you go, but I do reckon.
Calistodon, $3,000, Gavel House. If she wins tomorrow, we get $31,000.
Right, if it wins, you send me a message. I'll get you on and we'll just talk gallopers all night.
Oh, mate, I'm excited, yeah. She was bred in Australia. She doesn't know she's Australian. She's now a Kiwi.
Nothing wrong with us Australians.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know. Some silly fool bred it in Australia and then sent it to New Zealand, or it got sold to someone in New Zealand, and in Australia from New Zealand, and anyway, seen it up in the South Island, but she ran second for me a couple of weeks ago. She went super.
Yep. All right.
She's a live chance, and we've got another horse, first starter for me called Mulmari. It's got really good form. We actually bought it off Gavel House as well. I'm a very reliable client of Gavel House.
He hasn't said a word. You know, both him and Emily, like Emily's sitting there with her hands over her ears, but she's listening, and Cambrai, they're as nervous as buggery that I've got you on. You know that, don't you? People get nervous.
Oh, look, I'll tell you what. We could actually make a real thing of this.
Yeah, or it could be very short-lived. But you never know.
You know, at least we get a word in, because if Cam Bray's on here, we just don't get a word in.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. You can imagine them poor Germans the other day.
Oh!
Hey?
No wonder you came home on the first flight available.
Do you know how bad this show's going? Joe Pace is saying hello to Sam Kilgour. They're neighbours. They live across the road. They must not talk. They must just say it through the...
No, they just stand over the fence to look at how much money they're going to make when there's houses all across it.
It's a school. They got a school. They got the school buying them out. So they're Yeah,
Oh.
they're going to be very learned people by the same size as it goes.
No,
so.
wonderful. Great story, yeah. Melton, it's a lovely place. Wonderful.
No, all's good. We won't go there.
10 years in harness racing made in Melton.
We won't there. Hang on, he's come in here. Got a Gavel House beanie for you, Mickey. Only worn it a couple of times as well. And it's good to see that Sammy and Joe are actually talking, because Sammy's come back with a hello to you as well. The King of Coburn's Road, we call him. Oh, Joe, the King of Coburn's Road. They don't call you the King of Coburn's Road, do they? No,
I'm Trent. I'm Trent.
You're the Golden Mile, the mayor of Golden Mile, aren't you?
I am, actually.
Yeah, we're going to do that one day. We're going to drive around. I'm going to put the podcaster on you and just let you talk. People will just tune in. Michael?
I'll be speechless.
You will not be. Michael, thank you very much. And congratulations, Wilson, too. And I'm being serious about that, Santana Mac. I reckon it's good to see young blokes be daring and it come off.
Thank you very much for acknowledging. Yeah, that's wonderful. Makes me feel good.
I just think it was a good drive. I reckon it was good. I sat there and watched it, and I thought, geez, Wilson, you're keen here. You've gone a long way from home, and when it comes off, they know what they're doing, because he was in a good spot. He was 1 out, 2 back. It wasn't like he was last and had nothing to lose. So, no, I think it was great.
Everyone has their moments. He had a moment the other night that was wonderful. Thank you very much, Paul.
Hey, Michael. Last man standing in Golden Mile is what's just been said. But thank you, and
I'm the last man standing.
Does this mean, because I give you a bit of acknowledgement on the show, that I'm definitely coming back to the party next year?
Listen, I'll tell you what, we've got jelly wrestling and mud wrestling.
We got Kyle Marshall. On too. He's tuned in at the right time.
I'm telling you now, we're going to have midget tossing.
Oh, give me a break. Goodbye. Hey, Michael, goodbye. I'll talk to you next week, no doubt.
No worries, Paul. See you later, bud.
Jakey Stockton's on there as well. Anyway, he's having a good run. He got me right off the track too. I noticed that. I've actually got off the screen. But he is having a good run, Michael, and he's got 3 gallopers going around tomorrow at Rickerton as well. So the show's about having fun. The show is about making sure everyone is aware of everything. We were starting the show about the Niverley Arse race. We got down to Black Pearl for the Dalgettis, and Johnny Cox Takes a Ride. Advanced Party, no, we might have mentioned that horse actually. Artie by the Sea for Telfers. Love Struck for Natalie Rasmussen. Judine, and What a Minx, Stephen Boyd. So first of the young good juvenile races starting to come up too, which is really, really good and exciting. So I must say he increased the ratings. I got more people watching now than we did at the start of the show. I think the word got out that Mickey Mouse was on social media, and they got very, very scared, but that's okay. Thank you for everyone tuned into the show. We're going to continue to grow it. We're going to continue to do it the way that I do now. We'll continue to build profiles, get people to get involved with it, and we'll go from there. The other one I was going to get onto was that the VSTA have got a stallion raffle coming in the next couple of weeks with harassed trotters, and it will be based here in Victoria, I believe. So anyway, I'll get onto that one. That was Mick Barbie, who rang me while I was live as well. But I better get off, because my lamb Zamberos will be here very, very shortly. So I really appreciate it. All right, thanks everyone. It's had a bit of fun. As I said, bit of winter fun. Before I go, there'll be another race. Oh no, I'm way off it. It's good to see the guys in Melton are obviously out watching the 1200 metre races too. Joey and that. Joe's having a good run, actually. He's a king of hats. Don't worry about that. He's got more hats than me. My Bell and Me by Mr. Feelgood for Marie and Johnny Caldo. Rightio. So there's one that can't have, well, I shouldn't say can't have led, but shouldn't have led, because it's come from barrier 8, which, oh, well, that's outside the front. That's right, there's only a front line. So anyway, wait and see. They didn't have the comments up for the next one. But anyway, 1200 metre races. It's the last of them tonight, but the TAB turnover on them has been quite good. Jeff Dixon, good show. Listen next week. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. I could say go the Blues, but that'd be a bit naughty. But I will go the Blues, because we just got to keep that sort of thing going. 10,000. So, as I said, this is not an exact science, 9,000. So the first 4 races have held up okay this week. Generally, the first couple have been around that 10,000. This is only in the win pool. Anyone wondering, it's not in the exact science, but they tell me that if you get $10,000 in the win pool, it's a good betting race. And it's not an exact science or anything like that. It's good. We probably want more. But yeah, the first 4 1,200 metre races tonight have had $10,000 in them. So good for TAB turnover and betting as well. So, which is really, really cool. Rightio. Campbell's comments signing off on Loose Lines. It is random. Of course, don't forget Daniel Hibberd. Turn in and watch the Speedstar series on tonight. He's calling 2-dog races. He's going to get a couple of Carlton comments in there. And I'll be back next week, same time. Don't know where I'll be. Probably here, but we could have a bit of fun. Get some more guests on and have a bit of fun with those as well. And great to have Michael House on. Thank you, guys. See you next week.